Dear students, dear colleagues, good afternoon. Welcome to our English seminar for today, in which we are going to talk about the exam, the final exam of English. Well, dear students in grade 12, dear colleagues, let me first introduce my colleagues who are going to participate in this seminar. Miss Wala Safir, an English teacher from Damascus countryside. Good afternoon, Miss Wala.
Afternoon.
And Mr. Mazen Abdul Karim, an English teacher from Damascus countryside. Good afternoon, Mr. Mazen.
Good afternoon, Mr.
Well, dear students, of course, as you know, this seminar is about the final exam. We know, of course, that you're working hard to get, let's say, high marks in the final exam of English. So for this purpose, we tried or we did our best to, let's say, to make an exam review which is ready for you. We will try to revise everything, especially in the grammatical skills in your course. Well, let me first start with Miss Wala Safir. Miss Wala, of course, if we look at the book of the baccalaureate, we will see that in maybe in unit 3 we have wish, to write a wish sentence in English, how to express wishes in English. Of course, you will start to talk about wishes maybe. Then we can talk about other skills, passive voice, causative, and reported speech. After that, we can have a quick or fast revision about the tenses in English, and we'll be ready to, let's say, receive your questions. Any question about the final exam, we'll be ready to answer it. Let me first start with Miss Wala. Would you please give our students an idea about wish and how to write a wish sentence in English, please?
Yeah. First of all, we use the wish to talk about things we'd like to be different, either in the present or the past. We use it to express impatience, annoyance, criticism of a present situation. We have many structures. First of all, we use wish plus would to express a wish for someone to do something or for something to happen. For example, your room isn't tidy. I wish you would tidy this mess. How to write a wish sentence? We use I wish plus would to express a wish for a change in how someone behaves. So we use it to criticize someone. For example, you aren't polite to my friends. I wish you would be more polite to my friends. Or I wish you wouldn't argue all the time.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Miss Wala. Maybe there is a technical fault. The laptop is not working, the monitor I mean. Our students can't see anything on the screen. So can we have a break for 1 minute and correct this technical fault? Can we have a break for 1 minute? Okay, let's have a break for 1 minute, then we can go back, dear students. We are very sorry. Thank you.
صوت رائحة الطيور همست فيه أذن المعاني فانتشت من قوله أذن المعاني فانتشت من قوله
Back, dear students, we're very sorry for this technical fault. Let's go back to our seminar. Miss Wala, before the break, was talking about how to write a wish sentence. Now, I think the screen is ready, the laptop is ready, so we can start, Miss Wala. Please.
As I said before, we use
Yes.
I wish plus would to express a wish for a change in someone's behavior. For example, you aren't polite to my friends. I wish you would be more polite to my friends. Students are free, they can use their own words without the exact words. Like this example, I wish you wouldn't argue all the time. We also use wish plus past simple to express a wish for the present situation to be different or to regret for something. For example, this room isn't very big. I wish it was a bit bigger. I cannot sleep at night. I wish I could sleep at night.
Okay. So here, when we have verb to be, isn't, we use, of course, the unreal past.
Yeah, unreal past.
So when we wish for something, we are talking about something which is not true about the present, about now, or about the past. When we wish for something about the present, we use the past simple. When we wish for something about the past, we should use the past perfect. That's it.
Exactly.
When we have can't in the
change
sentence, we use
to could.
could. Okay, that's it. So I can't sleep at night. I wish I could
express
sleep.
inability here.
Okay. What else, Miss Wala? That's everything about wish. So it's so easy. We have, let's say, 3 cases. When we have can't, we use could. Of course, we can use different auxiliary
students are
verbs.
free.
The speaker is free to express or to use his own words when we want to express a wish sentence. Not necessarily using could or the same words. We can use different words. Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Mazen. Now we can talk about the passive voice. Why do we use the passive voice? First, how can we form the passive voice with examples, please?
Yes. First of all, we use the passive to express the process. The reason we use the passive, we have many reasons. The first reason, to focus the attention on the object rather than the subject. Number 2, to make the sentence more formal. Yes. Number 3, if we don't know the agent, we use the passive.
Good.
Let's
have an example.
Yes. Example, farmers grow soya beans. This is an active sentence. We need to...
How can we know, Mr. Mazen, that this sentence is active, not passive?
Yes, from the subject.
Good. When the sentence you mean tells us or talks about what the subject does or did or is doing. I mean, the subject is transmitting the action, not receiving the action. Good.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Example, farmers grow soya beans. This is an active sentence. If we want to change it into the passive, we have to put, first of all, the object and then verb to be.
Verb to be in the same tense as the active verb.
The active, yes.
Here we have grow.
Which
it's
is
in the present simple. So we use verb to be in the present simple.
Yes, is or are.
Yes.
Soya beans are grown by farmers, and of course the past participle, and all the students know that it is the verb 3 of the form, the verb 3 of the verb.
Okay.
Yes. Number 2, my father painted the house. This sentence is simple past, and if
And
you
it is active, of
in
course.
an active one, and if we want to change it into the passive voice, as the general rule,
We follow the rule.
follow
yes,
the
yes.
object, verb to be according to the active sentence, and past participle. The house, the object, was because it is simple
the past.
and singular. Painted, verb 3 or the past participle, and sometimes we need to focus on the subject. We use by and the subject, by my father.
Good.
Here, the subject received the action. The house was painted by my father.
Good.
The sentence tells us what happened to the subject.
Good.
Let's talk about different kinds of passive voice. Number one, the simple present.
Okay.
John washes the car every day. This is a simple present sentence. The passive voice sentence is the car is washed because it's singular every day by John. Number two, simple past. John washed the car yesterday. So the rule is object plus was aware plus verb 3 by the agent. John washed the car yesterday. The car was washed yesterday by John. We have another example about the present continuous. John is washing the car now, for example. The car is being washed by John. Here the students should know that we have to put being in order to differentiate it from the present simple because it is present continuous. The past continuous object, this is the general rule, plus was aware, plus being, plus past participle by and agent. They were building a dam. The subject were building past continuous. A dam is an object. A dam, singular, was being built.
Now let's move on.
Thank you, Mr. Mazen. Now, I think Ms. Wala will talk about
Other tenses.
the present tenses, perfect tenses.
Perfect
maybe.
tenses, yeah.
Okay, how to form perfect tenses into passive,
Yeah,
please.
the form of it, we have to put the object first, then have or has according to the object, and then past participle plus by phrase. For example, the storm has destroyed many houses. Here the object is many houses. Many houses have been destroyed by the
So
storm.
the object is many houses.
Many houses.
Many. We use the object as a subject,
Yeah,
as
at the
Mr.
at the
Mazen
beginning.
said.
Yeah.
Then,
We put have or has according to the object. After it, we put
Now,
been plus.
Ms. Wala,
past
sorry to
participle.
interrupt you.
Yeah.
Some students get confused,
Yeah.
especially when we have the object plural. So, and the sentence here is singular,
Singular.
because the subject here is the storm. The storm is singular. That's why we use has, destroyed. Now, we said, as Mr. Mazen mentioned, that we should use verb to be in the same tense as the active verb. The active verb here is destroy. So destroy here is written in the present perfect. We use the verb to be in the present perfect, but when we have a plural subject, we should use a plural verb,
Plural verb.
right?
Yeah.
So we should use have been, not has been.
Has been
Okay.
according to the object.
Yes,
And if the agent is necessary, we should mention it.
exactly.
Past perfect, we have the form of it, object plus had plus been plus past participle plus by phrase. For example, John had washed the car before we arrived. Here the object is the car. We put it at the beginning to make it a new subject. The car had been washed by John before we arrived.
Good.
The last form, I think, it's modals. If we have modals plus infinitive, the structure will be object plus modal verb plus be plus past participle and by phrase. For example, a storm wind can destroy a lot of crops. Here the object is a lot of crops. We put it at the beginning, then we put the same auxiliary verb or the modal verb here.
With
it's-
be.
Yeah, with be.
Yes.
Because
Can
it's-
destroy,
yeah,
can
it's
be.
infinitive, yeah.
Exactly.
Can be past participle destroyed and the agent by a strong wind. Another example, we should protect rare animals from extinction. The object here is rare animals. We put it at the beginning. Then we put the modal, it's should. After it we put be. Past participle, protected from extinction. Here we don't need to put the doer because it's a pronoun. It
Yes,
isn't
yes,
necessary
yes,
here.
Yes.
It's very
Thank you.
clear.
Thank you very much. Now, we have other maybe models. We have must.
Other,
We must move people from their houses before building the dam.
yeah.
Here is another example.
Another example, but the same structure.
People must be moved.
Moved
Yes.
from their houses before building the dam.
Yes, exactly. And we have will again. The
Any-
scientists
any model,
will
yeah.
discuss the problem of pollution. Now,
Yeah.
the problem of pollution, again, here the object is a phrase, not one word.
Yeah.
Some students, again, they forget that they think that
That
the
the
word, the
object-
problem is only the
Yeah.
object, and they forget about the
the
rest
other-
of the rest of words. So, the problem of pollution is a phrase. This is
Noun
the
phrase.
object.
The
The
object.
problem of pollution will be discussed
By the scientist.
by the scientists. Thank you very much. What about the reported speech now, Mr. Mazen?
Causative.
Why causative or reported speech? Here I have, okay, it's okay. Let's go to the causative. It's okay.
Sorry. Sorry.
Don't worry.
No.
Causative, okay. Causative or reported?
Reported.
Reported.
The same.
Reported. Let's go back. Okay.
Okay.
Yes, I'm ready now. The
Okay.
reported speech. Okay.
Yes. As we know, we have.
How can we report? What do we report? What kind of speech can be reported? All these are questions and they need answers from you,
Yes.
Mr. Mazen.
Yes, we report what other people said. We use the verb said or told to report,
report a speech.
report
Any kind
what
of
someone
speech.
said.
A sentence.
Yes, a sentence.
Statement.
Yes.
Okay.
Example, Selma, this is direct speech. Ali, I'm sorry about what happened. Selma told Ali that she was sorry about what had happened. Here the student should notice that we go back a tense in the past.
Of course, that is optional here
Optional.
again because we have a subject.
Yes.
So we can omit that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Selma told Ali.
Selma told Ali that she was sorry about what had happened.
Good.
Selma said that she was sorry about what had happened.
Yes. What's the difference between told and said here?
Yes.
Again.
Yes. Said does not need an object, whereas told, it needs an object. For example, Ali told Selma.
We can't say Selma told she was.
Yes.
Told someone. So
Yes, she-
we should mention the object after
the object
told.
either,
It needs an object.
yes,
needs
either
an
a pronoun or a noun.
Yes.
Said,
Thank you.
Yes.
said needs object. Really, if we
Said
have
something.
two. Yeah, if we have
But
two
not
after
said
it.
someone.
Yeah,
Yes.
she said to Ali, for example.
Yes,
here
yes,
we need.
yes, yes, exactly. Okay, Mr. Mazen, please.
Yes. Example, the sentence, Alice, I work in an office. The indirect speech or the reported speech, Alice said she worked in an office. As we can see, we use only the simple, the past tenses.
Okay.
The second example, simple past, Alice, I worked in the garden. Alice said she had worked in the garden. So again, we go back into the past, or we can say the past of the past sometimes. The present continuous. Alice, I'm working in the garden. So the reported speech, Alice said she was working in the garden. Past continuous. I was working in the garden. Reported speech. Alice said she had been working in the garden.
Yes.
Yes. Continue.
Now, that's how we report
Report
statements.
a statement or negative sentence.
Yes.
So we
But
go
now,
back. Yes.
Of course, we can report questions. When
Questions,
we
yeah,
talk
also.
about questions, we have two types of questions, Ms. Wala. We have WH questions and we have yes/no
Yes, no
questions.
question.
What about them, please?
When we report the questions, really, we follow the same rules as the statements, but we have a difference, the word order. For
Yes.
example, we put the subject
You mean
before
we should mention the subject
Yes,
first,
before,
then
yeah,
the verb?
the auxiliary verb.
Because
But
we are not asking here, we are
Yeah.
reporting a question.
it's no longer a question.
Yes.
It will be like a statement
Exactly.
at the
Let's
end.
have an example.
Yeah. Why are you laughing? He asked me. We have to put the question word first. Why? Then we have to change the pronoun you according to the object of the reporting verb here. So it's he asked me. We have to change you to I. It's a present continuous. We'll make it past continuous. Why I was laughing, and we don't put the question mark at
Here,
the end.
Here, the sentence or the question, why are you laughing? This question could be asked to anyone, from anyone. Someone can ask this question to, let's say, a girl, a female, I mean, or a male, or a group of people, right? But here in the exam, we mention, let's say, the name of the speaker
Or the object.
and the object. I mean, he asked Ali, or he asked me, he asked her. Here, let's talk about the pronouns. There are some changes that must be done when we report questions or statements. Here, when we have me, for example, he asked me, you said, we use the question word. It's okay, why? After the question word, we have to use the subject.
The subject.
According to the object
To the
pronoun,
object of the reporting
from the
verb.
object pronoun, we know the subject pronoun. He asked me, why I?
Why I?
He asked him, why he?
Why he?
He asked her, why she? He asked us,
Exactly.
why we? He asked them, why they? And so on. Let's continue.
Yeah, the
please.
second example, what are you going to do after school? Now we have another reporting verb here. It's she wanted to know. We put the question word, what, then we change you according to the object. She
Yes.
wanted to know, me, she means, I think here,
Yes, yes.
what I was going to do after school.
Good. Thank you.
The
Now,
other,
Yes, no question.
yeah, yes, no question. The same steps as WH question, but we don't have question word
question
here.
word here.
Yeah, instead of it, we have to put if or whether.
Because it begins with an auxiliary verb.
Auxiliary verb,
So
yeah,
that's
exactly.
why we should use if or whether.
If or whether.
is, let's say, easier
Yeah,
for
familiar
the
for
students.
the students.
Yes,
They use it a lot.
okay.
Yeah. The example here, did you enjoy the class? She asked me if or whether. If we have auxiliary like do, did, or does, we have to omit it and change the verb after it. Here we have to change you to I, whether I had enjoyed the class.
Good.
She wanted to know if I had enjoyed the class. The same here.
Now, we have an exercise here, 3 statements, Mr. Mazen. Correct the verbs in brackets. Let's consider that, let's say that we have such statements in the exam. How can the students know, or how, let's say, how to correct the form of these verbs in brackets? Let's discuss them one by one, please. We have, I think, more than one choice
Yes.
sometimes. Okay.
Yes. He said that he lived in Damascus with his family. The verb live, we can put it in the simple past. He lived, or he was living, or he had lived.
Let's
So
say that this
past
statement
tenses.
has 2 clauses, Mr.
Yes,
Mazen. The
yeah.
first clause
This-
is he said.
yes,
So it is in the past.
yes,
The students should know that we have said here,
Yes.
so it is in the past tense. That's why we should use past,
past,
not
yes.
present at all.
yeah.
Yes.
Past tenses. I think all past tenses here
are correct.
can be accepted, right?
Yes,
We can use lived,
yes,
we can use was living, as you said, and we can use
Had lived.
had lived.
yes.
Okay. The next one.
The next one. She said she learned Spanish for her next trip to Spain. Again, we have 2 clauses. Number 1, she said. The second one, she learned Spanish. Again here, all the past tenses are accepted. She learned, or she had learned, or she was learning Spanish.
Good. The last one.
The last one, Alia told her friend she liked her new camera. Here we could use
liked,
or had liked,
but not was liking.
liking because
Why?
yeah, it's a stative verb here.
Because the verb like is a stative verb. It cannot be progressive at all.
Progressive, yeah.
Yes. Okay. Now we have the causative, Mr. Mazen, the causative verb have.
Yes.
Let's start, please.
Yes. Let me say first, define the causative. We use the causative to refer to action which are done for the subject rather than the subject. For the subject rather than the subject. The example, I cut my hair. Here the doer is the, or the agent is I.
The speaker is the doer here.
Yes. The
It is
speaker-
active
yes,
here, not
yes,
causative.
Yes, it is not causative. If we want to change it into causative, I had my hair cut, so here it is causative because we have the subject and we have the have and the object and the past participle.
Now, the difference, Mr. Mazen, the
So
difference
this-
between I cut my
Yes.
hair and I had
Yes.
my hair cut. Here we have two structures,
Yes.
two grammatical structures, active,
and
causative.
Yes.
What is the difference between
Yes.
them?
I
Please.
cut my hair. Here the speaker is the doer.
As you said.
Yes. Whereas I had my hair cut, the speaker is not the doer. Someone else did the action.
To have something done by someone.
By
Yes.
To have something done by someone else.
Someone
yes,
else.
yes, yes. Okay.
Yes. Let's have an example. Use the causative verb have. My brother didn't repair the machine himself. So the active sentence is in the past. The causative sentence, my brother, or he, we can use the pronoun, had the machine or had it repaired. Or, yes, my brother, the second sentence, my brother repaired the machine himself. Here, another case, another example of the causative. Here we have the sentence which is
It is in the
affirmative,
affirmative. yes,
affirmative
form.
one. So in the causative, we have to use the negative causative.
Please, Mr. Mazen, can I add something
Yes.
here? When we say my brother repaired the machine himself, it means that he didn't ask anyone else to repair the machine for him.
Yes.
So that's why we should use the causative in the negative form, not in the affirmative form.
Yes.
So here, when we have affirmative, we should use causative in the negative.
Yes.
When we have negative, as in the first example, didn't repair the machine, it means that he asked someone to repair the machine for him. So it means that we should use the causative in the affirmative form. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you very much. I think it's very clear.
Yes, very good.
So we should use have in the
Have.
same tense as the tense of the sentence.
Yes.
But,
have.
Exactly.
but
Yes.
we use the opposite
Different
form.
structure. Yes.
Yes, not different structure. It's the causative, of course.
Yes.
But I mean, when the sentence is affirmative, we should use negative. When we use negative sentence, we should use affirmative, causative.
Causative.
That's it.
Yes.
Okay. What else here now?
Let's
I
go.
think we have conditional statements or sentences, if clauses. What is a conditional sentence? How can we form a condition? What are the different types of conditionals? Ms. Wala, please.
A conditional sentence is a sentence that contains if plus if a clause and a main clause. For example, if I hear any news, I'll phone you, or I'll phone you if I hear any news. Here we can put the if clause at the beginning or at in the first part or the second part of the sentence, or the conditional sentence, I mean. We have really three types of conditional sentence. The first one, type 1, if we take a bus, it will be cheaper. Here we have present simple, take, and the main clause in the simple future. We have will plus verb 0. The second type, if we took a bus, it would be cheaper. Here we have verb 2 or past simple with the if clause and the main clause would plus infinitive. The last structure here, if we had taken a bus, it would have been cheaper. We have past perfect with the if clause, and we have would plus have plus verb 3 with the main clause. Let's talk in detail about them. The first type, we use it to talk about actions that are likely to happen. For example, if you post the letter today, it will get there by Thursday. Another example, if you don't hurry, the others will go without us. Here the present tense in the if clause refer to a possible future action. The second type, we call it unreal past. If I had £1,000,000, I'll probably buy a house. Here we have past simple had, and the second part in the main clause we have would plus infinitive. We use it the type 2 to express, let me say, unlikely imaginary situation or
I'm
things
imagining
that,
something
yeah,
about
unlikely
the
to
present.
happen in the future.
When I say if I had £1,000,000, it means that I don't have them, but I'm just imagining something.
that I have.
It's not real, not
Not
true.
really,
Good.
surely. We have a special structure or expression here with the type 2. If I were you, we use it to give a piece of advice.
Yes,
For example,
yes.
if I were you, I'd say sorry.
Yes.
The last one.
Type
I have
3.
it.
Yes, type 3, if plus past perfect and the main clause would plus have plus verb 3. We lost. If we had won the match, we would have got through the final.
So the fact is that they lost.
They lost. They
This is
did
the
in
Opposite
fact.
the reality
Yes.
here.
So now the speaker here is imagining something about a past
A
situation.
bad situation.
Yes.
Another example, if we had taken your advice, we would have saved a lot of time. It means we didn't take your advice and we didn't save a lot of time. Here we use the past perfect talk about what didn't happen,
Yes.
something that didn't happen.
Good.
Let's
Now we have an exercise.
exercise. Correct the verb in brackets. Yes, Ms. Wala, you can start.
The first one, if I have enough money, I go to Canada. Here we put the verb according to the type. We have type 1 here, have a present simple, so we say, if I have enough money, I'll go to Canada.
Yes. The second one, if I had enough money, I go to Canada. The answer is I would go to Canada. So this is type 2 of if. Yes.
If I have enough money, I'd have gone to Canada. Here we have type 3. If I had enough money.
Had, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. If I be you, I would apologize to the teacher. So the answer, if I was you or if I were you,
Yes.
I would apologize. But you know, because it's formal, we use where with
Where
all,
is formal? More
yes,
yes,
formal.
yes.
with all pronouns.
If the driver hadn't driven too fast, he wouldn't have had an accident. Here we have type 3.
If we didn't have electricity, modern life would be difficult. So it's again imagining situation.
Yes, the last one, if there were no legal systems, some people would behave badly. Here we have type 2.
Yes. Now, what about expressing possibilities? Here we have, Ms. Wala, Mr. Mazen, dear
Yes.
students, we have some auxiliary verbs in the
Model.
course, not only in the baccalaureate, let's say in English, that have more than one, let's say, meaning or expression. We can use them, I mean, for, let's say, a variety, let's say, of purposes. Let's take the verb or the auxiliary verb can, for example. We know, and many students know, that the main use of can is to express ability in the present. For example, I can speak English, I can swim, I can drive, and so on. And we use can't to express inability in the present. I can't speak Spanish, for example, and so on. But we can use can for, let's say, requests. Can you help me? Or for asking for help. Asking
or
someone
permission.
for help. Can you help me? Or to offer help. Can I help you? So we can use the auxiliary verb for many, let's say, expressions. Or it has more than one expression, more than one use. And of course, it's the same for other auxiliary verbs. What about in the book? of the baccalaureate, I think we have 2 or 3 auxiliary verbs that are mentioned in maybe Unit 6 in the book. Can't, maybe,
Unit
and
5.
must. Unit 5, maybe.
Yes.
Can't, must, and may,
Yes.
or might.
Might, yeah.
So we have 3 auxiliary verbs. These 3 auxiliary verbs have different expressions than the expressions the students know. I mean, we use must to express obligation. Right? You must come on time when the speaker is telling someone and he has the decision. So we use must. I must hurry, I must leave now, etc. To express necessity or obligation. But does the verb must have different expressions or different uses in English? Of course it has. So let's see these cases together, please, to clarify to the students these cases. Miss Wala.
Yeah, well, we have 3 models to express possibility. We have must, can't, and might. We use them to express a degree of certainty, let's say. Let's start with must. We use must plus infinitive after it to talk about things that we are sure about or certain about 100%. For example, he must earn a lot of money to be able to buy that expensive car. Here we are certain that he earn a lot of money.
So can't we say that we use it to, let's say, conclude or to have a logical conclusion, to express a logical conclusion from a situation, Ms. Wala? I think when someone has an expensive car, so I have
Surely.
a logical conclusion from this situation. I can say he must earn
A lot of
a
money.
lot of money because he has an expensive car, right?
Exactly.
She knows the names of all movie stars, for example. How can she know the names of all movie stars? She must watch films a lot. So it is a logical conclusion. I know it is used to express possibility, but again we can say to express a logical conclusion. In English we can use our own words to express a lot of things. So here we say, okay, it is used to express possibilities. But again we can say it is used to express a logical conclusion. Am I right?
Yeah.
It's the same. So let's go on.
Yeah, that's
What
Yes.
else?
Cannot plus the infinitive to talk about things which we are almost sure are not true or won't happen. It's December. It cannot be hot tomorrow.
Again,
Again.
it's a logical conclusion.
A
you see?
logical conclusion.
To explain. It's very clear
Yes.
because it's December.
Yes.
It
And-
can't be hot tomorrow.
Yes, another example.
yes.
He's driving or he's just driving an expensive car. He cannot be poor.
Yes, he can't be poor because he has an expensive
Yes.
car.
Yes.
So here, what about might now?
Yeah, we use might when we aren't sure about something. For example, it's spring, it might be hot tomorrow. We aren't sure about it, maybe.
So here, let's differentiate or
Yeah, it's
distinguish
like a
between these
prediction
3
here, yeah.
auxiliary verbs. When we use must, it means that I am sure,
I'm sure.
that something is true. When we use can't, it means that I am
I'm
sure,
sure also,
that there is something which is untrue.
Not true.
Yes. Or won't
And
happen.
Yes, when we use might,
Maybe.
I'm not certain.
I'm not certain.
50%,
50%.
maybe
Perhaps,
true,
yeah.
maybe not true.
Not true, yes.
So it's
I'm
spring.
not sure.
It might be hot tomorrow, and so the speaker here is not certain.
Not certain.
Is not sure.
Yeah.
Yes, that's it. Do we have something else?
Yeah, we could express possibility
About
when
the
we talk
past- the
about
past
yeah, not present
So when we want to express possibilities about the present,
or the future.
we use the auxiliary verb
Yeah.
with the infinitive,
infinitive.
Yes.
right? With the infinitive, the zero form. Now, when we want to express possibilities about the past, what is the form? What about the form?
The structure, we use the modal plus have plus past participle. For example, Ali didn't find his key in the office. He must have forgotten them at home. Here we're talking about past experience for Ali. Mahmoud can't have found me. I was at home and I'd have had the telephone. The last one, Alia didn't come. She might have forgotten the meeting.
Good, good, good. Thank you very much. Now, I think that's all. for today. Of course, we have linking words. There is no need to revise the linking words because most of the students have got them, let's say, in grade 9, grade 8, grade 7, grade 10. So
Previous years.
they know about them a lot. But before we say goodbye to our students, I think we have some time to talk about the final exam, to give our dear students some pieces of advice, not only for the students, but also to our dear colleagues in the field, teachers of English.
Yes.
Dear colleagues, first of all, as you can see from our explanation, we can explain very easily to our students, in English, of course, the English grammar. It's so easy to explain or to give examples, simple examples, to discuss to your students in English, not in Arabic. Our advice is to depend on English to communicate with your students. Do not use the traditional method, which is translation. It's a damaging, let's say, method.
Generation.
It makes the students weak in English. They depend on translation only. And we have many examples in the final exam, the previous exam. A lot of students, your students, had a big problem when they wanted to write the composition, because some of the students thought that the question in the exam is about describing a visit to a place, so they got confused and they misunderstood the question. I think the reason is you. I'm sorry, some teachers, because you asked them to follow the traditional method to learn by heart from your notebook what you have written, I mean the topics. It's again a damaging method. Try to train your students to write, to use their own words, to know how to master the skill, which is writing. We don't say we have weak students. Some teachers say that. I'm so sorry to say that. Any teacher who says, my students are weak, I think he has a weakness and he has a weak experience, because we all know that in any classroom we have some weak students
Different
and we have
levels we
some
have.
strong students. We have different levels.
Yeah.
Your task, it's your job to raise the level of the weak, to make them strong, and so on. To design some worksheets for the weak, which are different from the worksheets for the strong
The good
in your
student.
classroom. So know how to behave with each, let's say, level, how to raise their level, how to treat this weakness in your students. Again, I'd like to ask you, Ms. Wala, if you have to add something, you and Mr. Mazen will be ready.
Yes.
Please, Ms. Wala, do you have something to add? A piece of advice,
To students or
how,
to
how
my
to
colleagues.
study for both. You have only 1 minute.
Yeah, I have to say something for my students. They have to prepare well. The exam will be very easy for them.
Yes.
They don't have to worry about anything. Everything will be okay.
Don't depend on,
Yeah,
let's say, memorizing.
studying by heart. Yeah.
No, yes. So try to think, to understand what you
To
read.
understand.
Understand what you read. That's it.
Especially composition.
Yes. Mr. Mazen,
Yes,
please.
I repeat again, I want the students to first of all understand the tenses, and they understand all the grammar in the baccalaureate.
Yes.
That will be easy for them.
Yes.
So if they understand the tenses, other grammatical rules will be very easy for them.
Good. And at the end of this seminar, I'd like to thank our dear colleagues in the field, teachers of English in all governorates, because they worked hard with their students. Thank you very much. I wish good luck for all the students in the final exam. And finally, I'd like to thank you, my dear colleagues, Ms. Wala Safir, a teacher from Damascus countryside. Thank you very much for your participation. Mr. Mazen Abdul Karim, thank you very much. an English teacher in Damascus countryside.
Thank you very
Thanks for
much.
coming and
Thank you.
your participation. Dear colleagues, till we meet in other seminars, we wish you all the best. Good luck. Thank you.